Alright, who all's ready for some pain and suffering here? That's a lot of mana. That's fine. That's fine. That's easy. That's kind of mean. That's fine. I think that's okay. It's a little time consuming. I guess that's alright. Oh boy. I think that's okay. That's mean. That's fine. That's fine. I think that's okay, but that's combat 24, so that's fun. That's easy. That's not great. That's fine, provided you can find one. I think that's okay. Oh, God. Why? That's easy. That's fine. Alright, we're gonna have a bad time. Hello everyone, Malicious Code here, and it is just about December, which means an all-new bingo, and hoo boy do we have a doozy this time. So, let's just get into the pain and suffering that we have here. Alright, so here is our list of bingo tasks. And just like last time, I'm going to start with the easiest or the free tasks and work our way up to the more difficult ones, and then at the very end we'll take a look at the community quests. So for free squares or free tasks, we have Sacrificial, Mining Prospect, Unlimited Power, Emerald Treasure, and Forgotten Fairy. Yes, the voices are necessary. Sacrificial. We're killing zealots and dragons anyway for one of the community quests, so eventually we're gonna have enough eyes to put down like 3 or 4 eyes, get a piece of dragon armor, sacrifice it, you're good. Mining Prospect. Super easy. 24 enchanted cobblestone, and we're going to be wanting to mine cobblestone for the ore prospector, or whatever the heck it's called, community quests. And for those of us that don't have a personal compactor bingo profile yet, we're going to want one. So having enough cobblestone, it's going to be easy. Since we have to be in Crystal Hollows anyway, you spend 10-15 minutes mining in a straight line, you're bound to get a Skatha. I don't really see how this is going to be a problem. But pray for a Skatha pet drop, because that would be awesome. Unlimited Power! It's 45 flawed ruby. The only slowdown on this one is going to be getting the collection, especially because we don't really have easy access to the different tools that actually mine ruby. The earliest one you could get is maybe the titanium pickaxe if you get lucky and you have enough Heart of the Mountain, but yeah, this one's, all in all, this one's really not too bad. I mean, if you're having trouble getting the collection, you can just like kill Team Treasure members or something. They drop a decent amount of gems. Emerald Treasure, run floor 1, get a chest. Forgotten Fairy, run dungeons. Use Dungeon Secrets plugin if you need to. I mean, I'm going to be doing that. So, yeah, find a fairy soul, you're done. And there's our free squares. So, unlike last time where we had a good number of free and easy squares, this one's really going to be pushing us. Next up, we have our easier squares. So this is going to be Redstone Collector, Second Q, Slayer, and Don't Look at Me. Redstone Collector reached 200,000 Redstone Collection. My recommendation for this one is to drop into Crystal Hollows for a while. This isn't going to be a fast quest by any means, but it's fairly easy. I would not recommend going for the redstone blocks in Mines of Divan because you don't get your mining fortune off of that. And regardless, the redstone veins and crystal hollows are massive and have increased redstone drops. If you aren't bingo tier 3 or higher, because they introduced tier 4 this time, save every piece of redstone you get to make a personal compactor. You unlock that at 50,000 redstone collection. So that's going to make your life a lot less suffering as far as getting all that redstone collection. Second Q, obtain a blue belt. So this is going to be heading into the dojo in the Crimson Isles. Getting combat 24 is going to be the hard part. Honestly, doing the trials is not really all that terrible. Just pray for good ping. Slayer, Tarantula, Broodfather, Slayer boss. Oh boy. I mean, me personally, I really don't like Slayers and I don't like dungeons, but somehow dungeons actually came up with a W on this one. Level 5 Tarantula Broodfather is not great. It's not terrible. It's just a little time consuming, but you do get access to Tarantula Helmet if you do end up getting enough drops. I'm going to be talking about minions a little bit later, but Flint minions is probably one of the things that we're going to want to keep on our radar this time. Don't look at me. So, we're the 8 pieces of the end armor set. This one's actually very, very easy. You can knock this out in maybe an hour or two, honestly. So kill Enderman for your Ender armor, and one of the 4 gears, I think that one's the necklace. Mine the shiny blocks, I forget what they're called, but like the Endermite nests for the gauntlet. Obsidian protectors for one of the other 2, I don't remember. And watchers for the other one. I mean, the drops aren't terribly common, especially from the obsidian protectors and watchers. But especially for the necklace and the gauntlet, like I had plenty of those last time and I wasn't even grinding all that much for it. So this one's really not that bad. So there's our 4 easier tasks. Next, moderate squares. We have one hit knockout, Queen of Webs, an Armadillo egg, Pet Hoarder, and a Fishy Collection. So one hit knockout. You may want to have the Tarantula Helm for this one, because that's really going to give you a whole bunch of damage. So you might want to do those first. If you're doing some of the other quests, you may have the Itchy Reforged from Arachne, since we're going to need the full set of that also. Other things that I thought of after making this, I don't know if magic weapons are going to work, so maybe Dreadlord Sword? Maybe? That's really going to be up in the air, so, I mean, that's something to at least think about. I don't know if that's actually going to work or not. Queen of Webs, the 8 pieces of Arachne's armor set. Armor is a 10 or 25% drop from the lesser or greater Arachne respectively. Equipment is a 2.5% drop from keepers. Basically, you're just going to have to kill a bunch of these. I think personally I'm going to go for a Dreadlord Sword for this quest alone. So that just means spamming dungeons in floor 1, playing mage, and hitting Q at the very beginning and praying for Dreadlord. But yeah, that's really all you can say about this one. It's just going to be tedious and time consuming, but really nothing more than that. The armor set's really not that great for damage. It's decent for defense, but it's not great for damage, so take from it what you will. An Armadillo egg. There's a couple ways to do this one. You can ask around in lobbies for an Armadillo chest. You can, that's supposed to say powder mine for one. I don't think that's going to be the most efficient solution for this one, especially because we don't have like that fast mining speed that you would need to be able to actually clear a bunch to get an Armadillo egg. Nucleus run, you have a decent chance of getting an Armadillo egg, but I think asking around in lobbies for an Armadillo chest is generally going to be your best bet here. And then, oddly enough, you don't want a legendary pet for this one because it just takes for freaking ever for it to hatch. So, yeah, you want a common one. Pet Hoarder. 10 unique pets. This one's, it's not terrible. but this is where minions are going to come into play. So for the easy, basically free pets, you have your bingo pet starting off, Bee, Grandma Wolf, and Rock. I mean, those are like the solid 4 that you go for at the beginning of every single bingo when pet hoarders a thing. My recommended pets. I mean, you're going to need an armadillo anyway, so that's one of them. Endermite's going to be fairly easy. Chicken, pig, rabbit. And then you have your choice of Enderman or Skeleton. If you happen to get an Enderman drop, that would be amazing. Other pets would be Ball. It's not like a super recommendation to farm it, and you could drop it. And then since we're doing dragons, as if you would get an Ender Dragon pet, but I mean, if you do, send that to your main because oh my god. And then same with Scatha. So as far as minions go, my recommendation is going to be first thing out of the gate to get chicken minions up and running so that you get those enchanted eggs, because you're going to need those for the chicken pet, endermite pet, pig, and rabbit at the very least. If you want to go for skeleton pet instead of enderman and have just the for sure square, I would recommend killing watchers to get those enchanted bone rare drops. Because that's going to be your best bet for getting those. If you do want to farm for the enderman, more power to you. Yeah, so this one is not going to be terrible, but there's some like planning and stuff that you're going to need to get going for this one. But yeah, definitely get those chicken pets up, or chicken minions up and running first, just so you have that passive income of enchanted eggs. A Fishy Collection. Well, we're going to need Combat 24 first, which means basically we're going to have to be spamming Bestiary. So, unfortunately, that means Dungeons is actually going to be kind of good for this. I don't really have a recommended list for this one. Everybody's fishing conditions are going to be slightly different for which fish they're getting, depending on what kind of gear they have, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. So I would recommend checking out the wiki for the conditions for each fish that you are able to meet yourself. I know there's some that you have to fish up in specific locations, some where you need a whole bunch of mana, some just kind of show up whenever. There's a whole lot of stuff that can happen. There's also the one that you get by using an unenchanted, I believe, regular starter lava rod. So, I mean, you're gonna have a bunch of like weird stuff going on, but this one, while time consuming, shouldn't be absolutely terrible. So there is our moderate squares. Now for the fun ones. Check out that YouTube link if you'd like. But that's basically my thoughts on the subject. Shout out to Sword Art Online Abridged. They're hilarious. So we have Zoop, Climbing the Ranks, Skill Average, Divan's Chance, and Sac Collector. Oh boy. Zoop, 25,000 Ender Pearl Collection. If I remember correctly. Let me double check that. Yes it is. 25,000 Ender Pearl Collection. Oh boy. The crafting recipe is easy. It's a total of 32 Enchanted Eyes of Ender, and I don't remember what else, but if I don't remember what else, that means it's easy enough. It's like a stick or something. Yeah, getting the collection for this sucks. Looking at the wiki, it looks like Zealots have a guaranteed drop of 2 Ender Pearls each. With an 80% chance, I believe, of dropping a third, and then there's the 1% Enchanted Ender Pearl drop. Enchanted Ender Pearls are 20 regular Ender Pearls, so let's just say an average of 2.5 Ender Pearls each from a Zealot, not including the rare drops. You're gonna have to kill like 12,000 Zealots. So that's lovely. This is just mean. Make sure you have your personal compactor first. And combat sack, probably. Climbing the ranks. Skyblock level 50. While this one is more of a passive one, it still frickin' sucks. You need 5,000 Skyblock XP to hit Skyblock level 50. 200 XP total when you get a Slayer to level 5. So Revenants, Tarantula, Sven together would be 600. I don't know if I'd recommend doing that just because it's time consuming and expensive. If you get a skill to level 20, it's 150 XP, and then the amount scales up depending on how high the level is. I don't have all that on hand. But getting combat, mining, enchanting, and farming together to level 20 is going to be 600. Combat, you're obviously going to get higher. Mining, you're probably going to get higher. Mining's actually quite easy to level up. Enchanting, we're probably going to get, and let's be real, 25, 26. Farming is time consuming, but I mean, I don't think I would go much higher than 20 on farming, to be real. And then, of course, you want to get more points in, whatchamacallit, foraging and all that stuff to make sure that you're good, but I'll also be covering that in one of the next slides. 470 total Skyblock XP for turning in every single fairy soul. I don't know if I would recommend doing all of them because that means a lot of dungeons runs that you're kind of wasting that time. So I would say 400 is probably more reasonable. That would be basically every fairy everywhere else, or not every fairy, but most of the fairies everywhere else. So that puts us at 1670 or 1600 so far-ish. Remaining 330 can be from other skills. Catacombs level obviously is going to give you a few bestiary milestones. Mining commissions is going to be huge, as well as I believe Heart of the Mountain also gets you a decent chunk of Skyblock XP, as well as Powder gives you a small amount. So getting a small amount of gemstone and mithril powder is actually going to help this along. And collections, obviously we're going to have several collections that are going quite high, so I mean those collections are going to help too. So maybe this one isn't as horribly terrible as I'm making it out to be, but it's going to be its own grind, and hopefully we can get it by the end. Skill average of 19. Obviously this is going to help with the last one with Skyblock XP, but farming, mining, combat, and enchanting are easy, especially because basically mining, combat, and enchanting are going to be required for this. Farming is not necessarily required, but it's going to be easy enough to get it to 20 and then just leave it at that. Fishing is pretty much required for the lava fishing stuff and the frickin' ink sacs, because that's just lovely. Taming and carpentry, you'll get those passively, so that's going to help. And then foraging and alchemy will suck, but they'll make a big difference. So, I mean, if you're having trouble getting your skill average up to 19 and you haven't touched foraging and alchemy yet, I would at least try to get foraging 10 and alchemy 10. You can get those fairly easily, especially if you're saving up some stuff from farming to make health potions and stuff. So yeah, I think that's how that's gonna go. I mean, I think at the end of the last one my skill average was 18 or something, and I wasn't really focusing on everything, so I don't know, maybe. This damn task. Topaz crystal. Kill ball, grab it. Amber, get 3 goblin eggs from chests. They do have to be of the same type, and then talk to King Yokar, and then go up into the thing and grab the amber crystal. Alternatives for goblin eggs, you can powder mine. You can just get it from regular chests in the goblin holdout, or you can kill goblins in the dwarven mines, and they do have a rare chance of dropping goblin eggs. And the ones that drop in mines will always be of the same type. So that one may be the play here, especially because they're not super uncommon. Plus, with elixir, you do have like the magic find potion, so you're not going to be terribly off with that. Amethyst, this one's eh. You'll need to find a lobby with a key guardian or Odawa, and then preferably get someone to help you out by killing him. With a key guardian, I do believe you need to have what is it? 10% of their damage dealt to be able to loot share off that. With Odawa, if I remember correctly, you need like 100 sludge juice, which, I mean, you can get that from chests fairly easy. I wouldn't recommend going for the jungle pick because it's essentially going to be a waste of time unless you really, really need it. Jade Crystal is do the treasure hunting minigame in Mines of Divan. That's pretty easy. And then Sapphire, you need to commit Automaton Genocide and hope you get the parts you need, or hope you get it in chests. Good luck. This one sucks. As far as killing the automatons, I mean, this one I would again recommend getting a Dreadlord sword because you can like two-shot them, one or two-shot them. If you have been doing dragons, hopefully you have like 3/4 wise and get the dark goggles off of dungeons, and that'll help a lot. Or crystal armor if you are doing dragons and sniping out the crystals. I mean, not much I can say for Sapphire. That one just sucks. But there could be a couple good things that come from the crystal run that you're doing here. You could get an alloy. That would be great. Pass it along to your main. Otherwise, you can get the Armadillo pets from this. Sadly, while you could get an Ammonite pet, and it theoretically would be useful, you wouldn't be finished crafting the Ammonite until after Bingo's done. So that kind of sucks. Because that would definitely help with Sac Collector. Pray for Squid Pet. Get your sea creature chance as high as possible. Fish for literally hours with rain on in the park. Try to kill steal all the freaking squids. This one sucks. Like, this one really, really, really sucks. Like, this one, I'm more upset about this one than pretty much any other tile because I've literally spent like 5 or 6 hours sitting in park on my main and got like 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, I don't remember. All I know is that my current Sac collection on my main is sitting at like 3,400, and I just got sick and tired of squid killing. Not fun. This one's really, really not fun. This one sucks. If you do get the squid pet, yay, that's another one towards Pet Collector. And there is where our bingo board stands. Now, the one great thing about this bingo board is that all of our bingo points are doubled. So, every bingo point for all of the colored squares here are 2 points. For completing a line bingo, you get 10 points instead of 5. For the left side diagonal, so that's from Fishy Collection down to Zoop, is 20. And for each of these, your contribution bonus is huge. So, I mean, all things considered, if you're able to get a full complete on this bingo board, you're going to be sitting real pretty for getting bingo ranks and or bingo talismans, accessories. I'm going to try and get myself to, I guess it's tier 4 bingo now. I'm really, 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 really not looking forward to Sac Collector and Zoop because those are just giga time consuming, awful time sinks. But yeah, let's take a look at the community quests. Mana Consumer, Lucky Looter, Dragon Slayer, Operation Ore, and small adjustments. Mana Consumer is easy, like really, really easy. And the interesting part here is going to be getting your contribution bonuses. My recommendation is go for Crystal Armor set, Wise Dragon set. Oddly enough, with Wise Dragon, you want to go for 3/4 Wise Dragon because you don't want the set bonus for this one, because set bonus just makes your stuff cheaper to spam, and the whole point is to spam abilities that cost mana. So I'll go 3/4 Wise and Dark Goggles, so at least you're getting some damage out if you're doing that kind of stuff. As far as magic weapons that I would recommend, obviously get the Rogue Sword as soon as you start. Just turn around, grab it from whatever that NPC is behind you. I don't remember their name. I think it's Jamie, Jaime, whatever you want to call him. Aspect of the End or Aspect of the Dragons, if you're lucky enough to drop that. Aspect of the Dragons is definitely going to help you with one-shotting Zealots if you do manage to get it. So that would be great. And that is provided that magic damage one-shotting Zealots doesn't count. So yeah, mana consumer, as far as a community goal, super easy. Lucky Looter, easy, like really, really easy. Honestly, just kill a bunch of Endermen. Ender Armor is a 1% drop. Ender Necklace is a 0.5% drop, but this is a lie because it's super common, but it counts. With Zealots, Enchanted Ender Pearls is a 1% drop. And with bingo profiles, we have Magic Find potions from Elixir. Or if you're lucky enough to do a community splash, you can do that. Lucky Looter is going to be super, super easy. Again, this is going to be more about getting your contribution bonus. So, I mean, I'm going to try for it, but I'm not promising anything. I don't know how well I'll be able to do. Dragon Slayer. This one can actually be fun. Since if you finish most of the rest of the quest and you're just farming Zealots, because that's going to be my recommendation here, I think. Basically, you're going to be dropping in 2 or 3 eyes at a time to try and get your dragon armor or what have you to actually like spawn the dragons and do some of the other quests. So that's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, it's also necessary for Sacrificial task unless you spam dungeons for whatever reason and get lucky with Lost Adventurer kills. Yeah, my recommendation here is to get Sacrificial by doing the actual Dragon Slayers. Yeah, so that one's going to be decent. Operation Ore. Between the cobblestone and redstone requirements for making a personal compactor, which I highly, highly, highly recommend, this is going to be super, super easy to finish off as a community goal. For those of you that want a higher contribution bonus, check out one of my other videos that I talk about this one, because I'm not giving out that secret in this video because I want my contribution bonus and I want a very, very high contribution bonus on this one. Small adjustments. I'm getting Goblin Tinker flashbacks from Terraria. My recommendation, get a whole bunch of money, get an extra piece of Ender Armor, and just spam reforges for a while. Each reforge with Ender Armor, if I remember correctly, is 1,000 gold. So, I mean, yeah. As far as community quests, we're not going to have a problem completing these. Like, let's be real here. Completing these is not going to be the issue. It's going to be getting your contribution bonuses. Easy contribution bonuses are going to be Mana Consumer, Operation Ore, I believe. Small adjustments and Lucky Looter are going to be interesting for contribution bonuses. But, I don't know. I'm not going to promise anything on that one. Dragon Slayer, I mean, the more time you spend in the end, the higher your contribution bonus is going to be for this one, especially because dragons have been very, very popular to do lately. Every time I'm in a lobby, there's somebody spamming dragons, which does make it a bit of a pain for getting eyes from Zealots, but I mean, take what you can get. So, this is our bingo board. I mean, there's a lot of bingo points to be had here. I haven't actually done the math on it yet, but there's a lot of bingo points to be had here. There's a lot of pain and suffering to be had here with some of these stupid tasks, but good luck, because you're gonna need it.